there's any other one as well, Laphroaig. You guys offering samples yet at all? No.
We're about to do a sample in a couple of minutes.
When they tell us to do the tasting, then we'll do it.
Lift up your voices in chorus with mine. Come lift up your voices, all Greek to refrain. For we may or might never all meet here again. So here's a health to the company. Let's drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let's drink and be merry, all Greek to refrain. For we may or might never all meet here again. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Laphroaig, let me bid you all Kinmilly Felcha, that's Gaelic for 100,000 welcomes. My name is Simon Brooking. I'm the North American ambassador for Laphroaig, and it is a great pleasure to be here at the Constitution Center. Is that correct?
Yes.
Constitution Center here in Philadelphia for an evening of whiskey and prohibition. Great pairing. And we do have a toast. We'd like to start the evening before we get on with the tours. But I would first of all like to introduce you to our master distiller at Laphroaig, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Campbell.
Hello there, good evening. It's great to be here in Philadelphia again. We're going to do quite a few things. I'm looking forward to the tour myself tonight. Hopefully you guys are as well. It's great to be here. I'll be wandering around, pestering you at some point in the day throughout the evening, so if you've got any questions, you should be able to ask them. And if I'm speaking too fast or whatever, Simon will be able to translate for me. So, but should have good fun, good whiskies, and yeah, enjoy. So. I need a whiskey now too.
If I might ask, I haven't had a chance to speak to everyone here today yet, but we have had we have a gentleman here who was at the Laphroaig distillery 2 Sundays ago, and actually heard about this event while he was on Isla. Has anybody been to Laphroaig sooner than that? Well, the Friends of Laphroaig program has been going 18 years now. Do we have any of the original members of the Friends of Laphroaig here tonight? No, all right, well. But thank you as being a friend of Laphroaig and bringing your friend of Laphroaig, because it's those folks that we hope that you enjoy this evening as well. Just to give you a rundown of the evening, we're going to break into 2 groups of 20 in each group, and then take a tour. The first, John will travel with one of the groups, and I will travel with the other. And then when we come back here, we'll continue the tastings of the Laphroaig. And we'll finish the evening with a cocktail. We have some food that's available at any time during the evening over that side of the room, so please help yourself. We do want you to drink responsibly, so if you feel you need any assistance at the end of the evening, please feel free to speak to myself or John or one of these fine lads or lassies here, and we want to make sure that you get home safely so we can see you at our next event. Prohibition and Laphroaig. John, do you want to speak a wee bit on that?
Yeah, okay, so, well, one of the kind of interesting facts about Laphroaig is that you could have got some in America during the Prohibition. What the then owner, his name was Ian Hunter, and he managed to actually sell it into the States during the Prohibition, and you could go to your doctor and get a prescription for some tonic, and that would involve Laphroaig. So one of the things I've always been searching for is one of these prescriptions as well. So if you ever find one of these prescriptions, it would be really useful for us to have in our visitor centre. But all the way through this period, this is, along with Prohibition and Laphroaig, this is when the distillery really changed and grew an awful lot as well. So between 1920 and the 1930s, we really upped the production at the distillery. We started selling all around the world, say into America as well. And it's just really a great period in the distillery's history. Might not be so great if you were in America at the time, because yes, it's all bootleg whiskey at that point as well. So, but one of our kind of sister companies, they had a lot of fortune come out of this as well. So it's a Canadian club, and Al Capone used to go up there and bring it down, and then bootleg all the way through America. So different kind of things, I guess, but it's something. I guess he was a great salesman back in the day, so it's something that definitely does make us different. And when you know Laphroaig and you understand these flavour profiles, you can probably see why they got the tonic, the medicinal, the kind of floral, the peaty, and the sweet notes. So we've got a glass, so we should toast as well. This is a 10. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of glass. So we're talking about the medicinal quality of Laphroaig in particular. People will nose this whiskey and it smells like Band-Aids or the emergency room. And that medicinal quality, actually one of the things that you find is because the distillery is located right by the sea. You're never very far from the sea when you're on the island of Islay. It's 20 miles by 25 miles across. So the sea is a huge influence on everything on Islay. Every summer there's the Islay Whiskey Festival, end of May, beginning of June, and all distilleries celebrate for a whole week. And two years ago, we invited as many friends of Laphroaig to come across to visit, and we had 300 people show up. Now that's 10% of the population of Islay, all right? And the boys at the distillery, right at the number one warehouse, there's a beach there, and they rake the beach to make it all nice and pretty for all the visitors coming, get it all white. But on the Monday prior to the Tuesday open day for Laphroaig, there was 80-mile-an-hour winds, which shut down the airport. There's only 2 flights a day, and it shut down the ferry. There's only 2 sailings a day, but you could not get on or off the island. But also, and you might see some shots of it in the slideshow here, the seaweed was literally being picked up out of the ocean and flung against the side of the number one warehouse there. And by the end of the day, the beach was now 3 foot thick of seaweed.
Wow.
So, we talk about the influence of the sea, and it heavily influences the whiskies as they're being made, but also the peat that is used on the island. The peat bogs on Islay are comprised of a lot of decomposed seaweed, compared to the peat in the Highlands, where the peat is more decomposed coniferous pine trees. So in its simplest form, I think it's similar to sitting around a campfire in the forest versus sitting around a campfire on the beach. Laphroaig, we're sitting on the beach, and hopefully with a bottle of Laphroaig in your hand. Shall we have a toast here, John?
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
Here we go. May the best you've ever seen be the worst you'll ever see. May a mouse never leave your pantry with a teardrop in his eye. May you all be hale and hearty till you're old enough to be. We wish you all the best, as we wish you all to be. Slanja. And when you taste this, place the glass a little bit more towards the middle of the tongue, because when you sip at the front, you get, but you also get the heat. So a little bit more towards the middle, and see if you get a difference with that. That is mother's milk. Yeah, you don't know my mother. So that shot right there, that's the plots, and that's the seaweed being flung up against the warehouse. These are on different timings here, but so it really is. You get that salt and the sea, but there's also the influence of the barrels, the Maker's Mark bourbon barrels that we're using, that get the vanilla, the caramel notes. But also one of the things you find in the peat bogs in Islay is sphagnum moss. It's that bright green moss that will grow along the top. And sphagnum moss has long been known historically to be able to be used as an antiseptic. Somebody is wounded in battle with an open wound, you can take some of that sphagnum moss and put it on the wound, and it helps draw out the bacteria. So that then will decompose into the peat, and that becomes part of the peat as well. So these medicinal properties are very important. They have found human remains in peat bogs thousands of years old. The clothing, the hair, the nails, everything is completely intact. Because what happens, it's all organic material that decomposes, composts, and then becomes compressed over thousands of years. So the peat bogs have a restorative value.